All right, so this is when Google Forms starts to get really cool, when we start looking at what we can do with responses. So just out of the box, when you create a form, you'll see that there's three titles up in this nav bar. There's questions, responses, and settings. So if we click on the middle one of responses, the default out of the box setting is that this is where your responses all go to, right? It breaks down each question that comes in. It'll try and make a stab at doing like a pie chart or something to interpret the data that you've been receiving. And you can kind of copy those charts and use them elsewhere. And this is great for very simple. What we can do though is if you hover over this icon, yours will say create spreadsheet. What that will do is create a new spreadsheet, and it will link the responses that you're getting directly into a spreadsheet. So let's take a look at what that looks like for this form. So here's the spreadsheet that's linked. Now, why this is cool is that once you start getting information in a spreadsheet, the possibilities on how to use it open to a huge extent. You can use add-ons or even generate your own app script to have triggers based upon submissions, right? Let's say you wanted to create a document every time there's a form submission and create a Google document that has that information in it, so that you can start to collaborate with others. Totally possible within getting it out of a spreadsheet. So the other important thing to look at there is that there's a really powerful data visualization tool from Google, which is Data Studio. You can import sheets as sources to Data Studio and then open up an entire opportunity to build dashboards and kind of real-time looks at your data. So if I go back to the form, under the responses, there's a couple of other things that I'd call out. Over on the right, you'll see that there's three dots next to the spreadsheet. So after you've created your spreadsheet, you can also go into the responses and make sure that you can click to get an email notification when a new response is submitted. You can also unlink the form. You can download your responses. The really cool thing that's been added relatively recently has been that these spreadsheets are dynamic, so that as you add questions and elements to your form in the editing window, that's now reflected in the spreadsheet itself. So hope that helps, and happy forming.